Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. My name is Michelle and I'm with Sew It Online. We are going to go over threading the Baby Lock Ovation for a 4-thread overlock today. But the first thing I want you to do is grab your quick reference guide that came with your machine. And it comes with a lot of the Baby Lock machines. And what I want to show you is I actually took mine to an office supply store, had them laminated and with a ring around it, and I have it on a hook next to my serger, so I always have access to it. But what I want to show you, I don't know if you realize that the top of this quick reference guide is color coded. There's either green or gold or green and gold. And these match the lettering on the back of your Ovation and the lettering that corresponds with that thread that sits next to it. So the 4-thread overlock, which we're going to do today, is right here. You notice it's a full green strip across the top. That means all 4 threads are going to be located on the machine next to green lettering. So we're going to use the lower and upper looper and the Overlock 1 and the Overlock 2 needle today. So get 4 spools of cone serger thread ready and let's thread this machine up. All right, so we've got the quick reference threading guide here, and we're going to do the 4-thread overlock. What I always like to do is check out the gray box right here. It's going to show you everything you need to set up for your 4-thread overlock. And before we even get into the threading, let's check this out. So we know we need the 01 and 02 needle set up. So I've got that in the machine already. 02 and 01 needle right here. It says the length on 2.5 to 3.5, and that's just a range. Your length button is right here. We're going to change that to about a 3. Our width is somewhere between 6.5 and 7.5. We're going to change that. Our stitch selector is going to be on A. That's this button right here. When you open up the doors, your stitch selector goes all the way up to A. Your wave selector, we want to make sure you're on overlock. Not on wave, you want to make sure you're on overlock. If there's a dash line between any of the boxes, it's something you just don't have to worry about when threading for this particular setup. Our upper looper selector, and I open up the second door, is in the up position, so we're going to be actually using the upper looper. Our blade is up, it is not in the lock position, and we have the knife cover on. Our subsidiary looper, which is right here, we will not be using for this thread setup. So the first thing we do, we have all that situated. I have my cones located in the correct position on the back of the machine. I'm going to put this down, and we want to make sure our thread stand is at its highest position. And the first thing we're going to do is put our machine into threading mode. So I'm going to turn this lever down to threading, but it's not quite ready yet. This is the complete air threading system that Baby Lock has come out that's very popular on a lot of their sergers. But we need to turn the hand wheel, and if you watch right here, you're going to see these tubes become engaged. And those tubes there is what helps the thread come through the machine and get through the upper and lower looper. So the nice part about this machine, we can thread it in any order. So I'm going to put my presser foot up, which this is the lever, which is kind of cool on the Ovation. It's in the front. And we're going to thread the lower looper first. I'm going to click back here. I'm going to make sure it's threaded. And I'm going to take this thread and bring it down about my thigh so I have enough thread to go through the machine. If I don't have enough thread to go through the machine, you'll never see it come out. So this is the lower looper, and when I press this button, you can see that the lower looper is threaded. It comes out right here. All I'm going to do is give it a little snip, so I got about 3 or 4 inches coming out of the lower looper, and I'm not going to do anything else with it. I'm just going to leave it alone. So the next we're going to do is the upper looper. We're going to bring the orange thread, which is my upper looper, click it to the back, again floss it into the tension disc there, and I bring it down again to touch my thigh so I have enough thread to go through the system. I'm now going to put it in the U port, which is for the upper looper, about 1 inch, and I think tweezers are phenomenal for this. It just helps it get through the machine a lot easier. I'm going to push that button, and you can see that my orange thread has come out of my upper looper. I'm going to put it to the back and just leave it there. I don't have to do anything else. I am now going to do my needles, and I want you to take a look at the needles. The best thing to do is if you can remove your presser foot, it makes it a whole lot easier to thread those needles, and also gives you a lot more light. And you can also lift your presser foot just a little bit more to get that out. It's always a good idea to remove your presser foot off to the left of the machine, and that's with most of the Baby Lock sergers. So let's grab the gray thread. That's our O2 needle. That's our right needle thread. Click it in the back, floss it through, and I'm going to come all the way across. I'm going to go through here, up and around, kind of like a sewing machine. I'm going to bring this down, and I like to give a blunt cut to my thread, and I also use my tweezers to put it through the eye of the needle. And then I take it, oh, I missed it, let's get it through again. I think this also gives you enough space to try and get that thread through there. Let me get another clip real quick. There we go. So it's through the eye. I'm threading it. I'm going to take it straight back to the back of the machine, just like I did with the upper looper. So now that's threaded. We're going to take our black thread, which is our Overlock 1 or our left needle thread, make it go click through the tensions, and it's actually going to follow the same path as the Overlock 2 needle. So we're going to go across, up and around, behind here, and I'm going to give another little snip so that I can thread this a little bit easier into the eye. I would recommend if you're just starting off with a serger, to put 4 different color cones of colored thread in your machine. That way you know where the stitches are, what they look like when they're coming out on your material, and you know where they are. You kind of get used to knowing that, and you can it'll help troubleshoot things down the road if by chance you need to. So let's rip these through. I want to make sure they're back here. All right, so we're threaded. I'm now going to put my presser foot back on. I'm going to lift this up to give me a little bit extra lift. Bring it down, and if it doesn't snap in all the way, just give that button in the back what helped remove the presser foot, snap it back on, and that foot will go right back on. Test it so you know your presser foot is working there. We're all done. The only thing we have to do now is take it out of threading. You can see our threads are through where our tubes were. I'm going to close up the machine. And the nice part about the Ovation and some of the other sergers that Baby Lock came out is that you cannot serge if the doors are open. It's a safety feature. So I'm going to put the presser foot down. I'm going to just turn my hand wheel a couple times just to make sure I don't hear anything clicking. So I'm going to run this and see if we can get a chain going. So thanks for watching this video. We did the Baby Lock Ovation serger. We set it up for a 4-thread overlock. Get comfortable with your serger, keep it out of the closet, and work on things with it. You'll be surprised how much you can do with it. Be sure to click the subscribe button below to get tips and tutorial videos from Sew It Online. I look forward to seeing you again on the future videos. Thanks, and come back real soon.